Hello, my name is Meier. I'm a clinical neuroscientist and have focused most of my research on Alzheimer's disease. More precisely, I've studied the cerebrovascular risk factors of Alzheimer's disease, such as microglias. Alzheimer's disease is thought to be caused by amyloid and tau deposition, but neuroinflammatory processes are a core feature of Alzheimer's disease. Microglia are overactivated, resulting in the increased production of pro-inflammatory cytokines. In a recent study published in Brain Communications, we hypothesized about parallels between neuropathophysiciological events of COVID-19 and Alzheimer's disease. COVID-19 is thought to be a lung disease, but evidence has shown that the SARS-CoV-2 virus does in fact affect the central nervous system and disturb neurological and cognitive functions.
Hi, my name is Lawrence Rajendran. I'm a neuroscientist and the former deputy director at the UK Dementia Research Institute at King's. Like Irene, I also focused on Alzheimer's disease, but on the cellular part. That's why this collaboration was a very fruitful one. Around the same time that Irene called me about the idea that COVID might actually affect the brain, and that could even be related to dementias. And I had been discussing with my colleagues as to how strikingly similar the cell biology of SARS-CoV-2, which is the virus that causes COVID, and that of Alzheimer's disease. In the cellular pathway to produce the amyloid plaques that characterize Alzheimer's disease, the precursor protein called APP and the enzymes meet in small organelles inside the cell called early endosomes. These are similar to post offices you could think of, from where the posts are dispatched to distinct destinations. From early endosomes, some part of the amyloid goes to an organelle called lysosomes, which is full of degradative enzymes, which means that, when amyloid gets there, these lysosomes could actually destroy amyloid before it could even leave the cells. However, in the vast cases of Alzheimer's disease, due to unwanted brain inflammation called neuroinflammation, this internal cellular degradation via lysosomes might not effectively work, thus causing an accumulation of amyloid into plaques. Not only we see a similar inflammation in coronavirus infections in the peripheral part of our body that causes the pulmonary damage leading to COVID, but also that SARS-CoV-2 uses the similar endosomal lysosomal system during its infectivity. Now, we also know that clinically there is quite some similarity between these two diseases, and there's also a bidirectionality between COVID and Alzheimer's disease. So if one has Alzheimer's disease, then that increases the risk for COVID. And if one is already infected with COVID, this severely enhances Alzheimer's disease risk and cognitive impairment. Further research is clearly needed to understand this link between these two diseases and how do we stop both of them.
Alzheimer's disease and COVID-19 also share a fair amount of risk factors: cardiovascular disease, smoking, high blood pressure, and diabetes, among others. Other similarities include cognitive decline in case of COVID-19 as a consequence of the viral infection. We feared early on that the SARS-CoV-2 virus may alter cognition and accelerate cognitive decline, mainly affecting elderly patients and people with cognitive impairment or dementia, given the strong inflammatory response. However, an online study from Imperial College London showed that the virus does not only affect cognition of older adults, but may also impact young people. In a study including almost 85,000 patients, the subgroup that was hospitalized with a ventilator showed cognitive impairment equivalent to 10 years of decline in global performance in people between 20 and 70 years of age. Our observations led us to hypothesize what this could mean for today's labor force. It is hard to estimate the potential production loss related to COVID-19 in the labor force, but estimates from traumatic brain injury indicate that they may lie in the trillions. But not only the exposure to the virus has been shown to be detrimental to our well-being over the last few months. Social isolation, lockdown, the loss of loved ones, and the unknown future, all these factors have had an impact on our mental health and taken its tolls, increasing anxiety and depression. The truth is that we just don't know about the long-term consequences of this virus onto our cognition and mental health yet. Whether these neurological side effects are reversible, or whether the inflammatory response kicks off a process that resembles parts of the pathogenesis of Alzheimer's disease, and what that will mean for the labor force remains to be shown. It is also not known what kind of an effect a vaccine could have in preventing these side effects. Longitudinal data is needed to reach such conclusions, but it certainly shows us that we have to be alert and try to prevent catching this virus. Thank you very much.